So many things to talk about with this game, the SC passing attack against the Friends rushing attack. But, I want to go back to last year, Mark. You and I were in this seat. A brilliant game played by two teams. We saw Southwestern come back. They drove the ball. They made Friends use all their timeouts. Southwestern, led by Braden Howell, kept getting first downs. They were setting up for a fairly short game-winning field goal, only to see the Friends Falcons block it, return it for a touchdown and a win. It was the game of the year last year in the conference.
It was, such a, if you're a Builder fan, certainly a disappointing loss, and certainly for some of those returners, something that's stuck in your mind for the longest time that, you had your chance to beat a really good Friends football team and you put yourself in position only to see it lose at that. It doesn't happen very often, so I'm sure that's in the back of Brad's mind and some of our players' minds that have returned that experienced that last year.
For today, again, you noted very senior-led Friends team on offense.
It is 15, actually, and it's a total of 15 seniors on offense and defense as opposed to Southwestern's got, I think, 7 seniors. But certainly a very mature. And if you look at the Friends, especially on the offensive line, those seniors are big. They're strong. They've been here a long time. But we'll see if that plays a factor in this game moving forward, the seniority advantage that Friends has today.
As we get ready to kick it off, we are at 55 degrees here in Winfield. It feels like 52. We have light rain falling, humidity at 98%. Winds are out of the east at 9 miles an hour. Not really a game-changing kind of wind here today, but certainly something to pay attention to. Jeremiah Schaefer to kick it off for Southwestern as we get ready for this game. Welcome to all of you in KCAC Nation and around the NAIA. The kick is in the air, and it'll be fielded. Friends will have a chance to return here. And out to the 15, to the 20, and taken down. Returning there for Friends. Looked like, was that Jace Martin maybe?
Yeah, Connor Tillman, wasn't it? 17?
Both 17s. Connor Tillman's the kicker and the punter.
That's true.
The double numbers, yeah.
That's right. We don't know.
But I'm going to guess.
Double numbers.
I'm going to guess it was, actually they have 3 17s on the team. How about that? Friends University, Mark, led by Cavante Baker. He's the perfect guy for this offense.
He really is. And, it seems like Cavante Baker's been here since about 1969 playing for them, but he makes some things happen. He's exciting and dynamic.
And a dive play here on first down, and Southwestern able to get the stop, carrying the ball for the Falcons. There was Nick Cordova. Friends will not huddle. They'll just look over to the side. Those linemen know what they're doing every time, don't they?
They do. They kind of have an idea what's going to happen. It's a simplistic offense based on a bunch of different things and a bunch of different looks for at least nice for an offensive lineman that, you're in an option-type offense and you're always going to leave one person unblocked. 2nd
down and 7 for the Falcons after a 3-yard gain. Baker is touched in the backfield a couple of times. He shrugs off 3 tackles, Mark, and gets out to the 32-yard line. He's shy of a first down, but that could have been about a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, he has he's big. He's strong. He's, 5'10", 180 pounds, but he's a senior. He's been in the weight room. He's strong. He uses his balance and his body real well, which makes him so dynamic and strong, or dangerous.
So what you would imagine throughout the day, the way Friends will grind it, 3rd downs are going to be huge. Can Southwestern's defense get off the field? Up front for Friends, Kenyon Vigil, Kyrie Watkins, Cole Herman, Kel Stroud, and Doug Grider. Baker under center, and he'll give it up the middle, and it's a first down run. Nick Cordova able to get across the 40 to about the 41-yard line, and a first down for the Falcons. Just hard right over that right tackle, right guard area.
Yeah, right tackle, right guard. You could see the right guard stance. He was going to bull forward. He was going to go forward. That's where the play was coming. You could see it from the get-go. That was just, it's going to be man on man. Here we go. Let's see if we can get a first down.
That's Kel Stroud you're talking about there, 6'5", 300-pound senior.
Yeah, he's
big dude.
He's big.
I mean, we see 300-pounders, but then when they stand 6'5", Mark, it's even more impressive.
It is.
1st and 10 Falcons, and a toss over to the far side to Michael Lopez, but Lopez is going to be brought down. Looked like for Southwestern, maybe Britt Witchen coming in for the stop there for the Builders. Builder defense, let's run them down for you. Jamarian Citizen, Caleb McNeil Tyler, Carl Malvo up front, Teddy Amorosi, Drayshawn Flowers, Corbin Williams, and Isaiah Yehuda. Very talented linebacker crew for SC. Corey McCoy, Byron Johnson, Britt Witchen, and Adrian Holman in the secondary. But on first down, 4 yards. Second down and 6 for the Falcons from their own 45-yard line. Baker will keep it himself here, just bowling over. He runs over one would-be tackler into the Mound Builder side of midfield, and he's finally brought down at the 33-yard line. A bruising run from the quarterback, Cavante Baker.
Yeah, at that point in time, Cavante Baker's dangerous because he's truly a running back. He has the ability to throw the ball, and don't let that deceive you. He's got some yardage this year, but his power is in the run, and if you look at him, he's strong. He's got some muscle in those legs, and he never stops him from driving. It's
interesting. Nick Cordova on our two deep here is not on the starter list, but he is starting here tonight. Michael Lopez is out there as well. Here comes Friends, 1st and 10 at the Mound Builder 35. Baker tosses to Lopez, trying to get outside, being pursued by Witchen. He got the corner, tiptoes, and now he's out of bounds. But a nice run by Lopez. He'll be out at the Mound Builder 28-yard line. That's a gain of 6.
Yeah, nice little pitch option, and it's hard to keep contained. Good blocking by Friends wide receiver on the outside, and a good gain by Friends. Brings up second and manageable.
It's funny, as we're here long before kickoff, really no one in the seats, and then all of a sudden as the game starts, everyone kind of migrated here to Giant Stadium.
It looks dynamic, too, with all the umbrellas. It looks like it's completely full.
Yeah, the umbrellas do help, don't they? I know we would have had a full house had the weather cooperated a little bit, but it is wet and cold. Glad to have you tuned in if you didn't make it out here. Here is a give up the middle. Builders do a nice job there stopping action.
It's a nice thing about you watch that. Die play, just so you can watching what that defensive tackle's doing, watching what that defensive end is doing. If you're crashing, then the quarterback's going to keep it, and then he's going to fill that hole that's voided because you're a defensive tackle and you're sinking down and trying to take the dive. So it's all a game of chess, even more so when you go against an option type offense.
It's third down and 4 for the Falcons. Lopez goes in motion. The give, no, it's now tossed out to Lopez, and he fights his way. He's right at the stick. Did the ball come out? There's a little scramble after the play. The Builders thought they had the dive contained there, Mark, and then Baker pulled it back, tossed over to Lopez, who battled his way for 4 yards and a first down.
4 yards and a first down. It's kind of that's the menu that Friends has eaten on all season long is, be methodical and ball control offense and take advantage of it when you can.
Jamarian Citizen clapping his hands. He thought he had a big stop there for the Builder defense. Of course, you're on the part of the field here now where it may be 4-down territory. I know Friends has outstanding special teams. 1st and 10, though, here at the Mound Builder 23. Some movement. Baker's got a free one. He throws it downfield. Caught! Flags on the play, probably going to go against Southwestern. At the back end of that is Austin Pratt, who came back for the underthrown ball, made the catch at the goal line, and slipped in for a touchdown.
Unless they call this on the center, moving that ball a little bit early, this will go against Southwestern.
Well, their Friends not celebrating. And it is offsides on Southwestern. When they let the play continue, I figured it had to be against the Builders. Opening drive touchdown for the Falcons with 9:24 to go here in the first quarter. Friends leads the NAIA in yards completed per pass of 34 yards. They don't throw it a ton, but when they do, they've been effective.
Yeah, it's always one-on-one because you've got 9 men in the box, 10 men in the box. So, when you do have a receiver going out en route, it's always against one defender.
Extra point by Truett Bosher is up and through. 9:24 to go, first quarter. Friends 7, Southwestern 0. And welcome back here to Richard L. Jant Stadium. An opening drive touchdown by the Falcons. Converted a couple of third downs there, Mark. That's their mantra.
It is, and it's what they've done all season long. And, certainly you hope that, Southwestern can answer here and get a drive of their own. And maybe in a different way, maybe in the same way. But great ball control offense by Friends to open up this game.
Kick that Mazik thought it was going to go out of bounds. It didn't. Joe Smythe picks it up, breaks a tackle. Friends has him covered up, though, and he's out of bounds. Boy, that ball's squirrely, wet turf. It's always squirrely anyway, Mark, but now you throw the wetness out there.
It doesn't bounce as much, and so it's like you're used to it bouncing off the turf a certain way, but all of a sudden you've got the turf that's wet, the ball that's wet, and it doesn't bounce quite as much or bounces differently. It's heavier.
Now we get a look at the Mound Builder offense as they will start this drive right at their own 22-yard line. Jamie Odom has burst onto the scene here in the KCAC, redshirted last year, and he has been in complete control of this offense the last 5 weeks. Odom will look to throw a little slant to Holthus, a little bit low, but Matthew Holthus makes the catch, and that is an A-to-Z mini storage first down for Southwestern to the 35.
And I like that it's almost like a delay slant where it doesn't look like it's going to be a slant, and then all of a sudden it is, and you get that cornerback out of position just one step.
Jamie Odom at quarterback for Southwestern. Their wide receivers so talented. Joe Smythe, Aiden Koenig, and of course, Matthew Holthus, the all-time leader in receptions and yardage in Southwestern history. Give is up the middle. Nice gain here for Sundgren. He looked like as he hit the turf, the ball came out. Or was that Joe Smythe, actually? It was Joe Smythe who took that carry, and a nice 8-yard gain on first down.
Yeah, and that was wide open down the middle. That was good blocking there by Southwestern's offensive line, but he had a good 6-7 yards before he was even touched.
So second down and 2 coming up here for Southwestern at their own 43-yard line. Hunter Reeves out there up front. Cooper Brinkley, Justin Robinson. Arnold Portillo is snapping it. Caleb Phillips and Austin Tiener. Odom gets the snap. Gives it off to Smythe. Smythe over the right side. Trying to get outside. Tripped up. Great defensive play out on the edge for the Falcons. And making that play there, Mark, let's see, look at my number 7s. That was Brock Zerger, young man out of Derby.
Yeah, out of Derby. Good player. I was watching him in warm-ups before the game, and he's just built like a football player.
Third down and a yard for Southwestern. Looks like they might have brought Joshua Mazik in there. Mazik with game-changing like speed for sure. Friends loading that box up. Odom wants to throw, wants to send it on for Holthus, who had a step, but Odom just missed him. And now first decision of the day for Brad Griffin, 4th down and a yard at your own 44-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly one of the things you're thinking about. If you're Brad, he's like, we'd like to keep them off the field, but you got to think field position, and out comes the punt team.
Caden Clark out to punt for SC. I'm sure, you'd love to roll the dice there, Mark, but if you don't get it, you don't want to give this Falcon team short fields.
No, you don't. And you certainly don't want to put yourself behind if they drive down and score again, and then all of a sudden, when you know then that they're going to ball control you and take off a whole bunch of time off the clock.
Caden Clark, ball bobbled on the snap, now in some trouble, trying to get it off. There's no chance. So the first real weather thing there, the ball kind of slipped off of Caden Clark's hands, and the worst-case scenario for Southwestern is a bobbled snap and tackled back at the 32-yard line, an even shorter field for the Falcons.
Yeah, even shorter field now. So we talked about it before that, turnovers are going to be a part of it with wet ball and cloudy, rainy weather, and who's going to control the ball and who's going to keep control of it. So first mistake goes to Southwestern today.
And the long snaps, that's certainly a thing with the weather right now, too.
It is. The ball's, it's wet, it's heavier. It's just, but one of those things.
Baker will give to Adarian Sykes over the right side. Sykes is out to the 25-yard line as he picks up 7 yards. Adarian Sykes has had some kind of season already for these Falcons. A good gain on first down will bring up 2nd down and 3 for the Falcons at the Mound Builder 25-yard line. 6:50 to go, first quarter. Friends on the rail, 7-0. Trying to look at that Friends side. If I don't really see a dummy play call. I mean, they just have one guy.
No, just one. He's waiting to hear from what the personnel looks like from the booth, and then they'll make their decision on the call.
Baker trying to keep it. Citizen pushes him back, still going back, and they got Baker down at the 29-yard line. A loss of 4, and again, Mark, Jamarian Citizen busting through that line and causing some trouble.
Yeah, anytime you can get the quarterback, Cavante Baker, to run east and west and not north and south, you've given yourself at least an opportunity for your team to rally and make tackles. So good job from a team defensive standpoint there.
3rd down and 7 after a loss of 4 there on 2nd down. Drew Smith, who's played against these Falcons, the new D coordinator at Southwestern, his first chance to really coach that defense against this talented offense for Friends. They give it up the middle to Sykes, but he is wrapped up. Looked like Carl Malvo maybe. Again, those black numbers. That was Isaiah Yehuda in there for Southwestern making the stop. 4th down for Friends. This will be a long field goal, so they're going to keep the offense out. They are one of the best in the nation at 4th down conversions. 4th down and 4 from the Monbuilder 26-yard line, trying to erase a special teams blunder. Baker now lifts up and a second look over, play clock at 10.
Probably get a timeout here.
Down to 3. Baker still looking at his wrist. Now it says something to Sykes. Play clock at 1, and there is the timeout from Friends University. 4:55 to go. Big 4th down play right after this. Trying to get a stop here against this Falcon offense. It's 4th down and 4 from the Monbuilder 26-yard line. 2 deep safety look here for SC. Baker under center. They overload the left side. Baker keeping it, tosses out to Lopez. Great block downfield by Becker. It's on the sideline. Lopez, he just stepped out of bounds. Tell you what, wide receivers for Friends don't get a lot of balls to them, Mark, but boy, the wide receiver Becker out there really sealed off the edge.
Yeah, he held on to his block a lot longer than what Southwestern will be happy with, for sure. You got to get off those blocks and create an edge. You're looking for a dive, and then you got to stop the quarterback, and then you stop the pitch. Somebody's got to come up and make a play.
Samuel Becker, young man who I've had the pleasure of broadcasting for years. He played at McPherson High School. Yep. So a big 4th down conversion for Friends. They've got it 1st and 10 at the Monbuilder 12-yard line. Cavante and another Friends timeout here with 4:05 to go in this first quarter. Let's take 30 seconds. We'll be right back.
And one of the things that Friends does that you don't see a whole bunch of, at least we haven't up to this date, Friends probably does more cut blocking with their offensive line than the other team in the KCAC, and so that's a whole other dynamic that you have to be prepared for. You've got a dive assignment, but somebody's trying to cut your ankles out from underneath you. It makes it a little difficult at times.
Sykes takes it up the middle, tiptoes his way around for a couple of defenders, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Adarian Sykes from 12 yards out, and the Falcons are 2 for 2 on drives today.
Yeah, another good job of blocking up front, coming off the left side. And good blocking by that Friends offensive line, and good running by Sykes to put them up 13-0 with still 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
Their kicker is Truett Bosher, a freshman. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it's right on through. 4 minutes even to go in quarter number 1. The Falcons off to a quick start. Friends 14, Southwestern 0. Welcome back here to Giant Stadium. Friends takes advantage of the Monbuilder miscue on the punt. And now a high, short kick fielded by Hunter Reeves at the 19-yard line. Hunter coming here to the outside, now just ducks his head and gets what he can out near the 28-yard line. For Jamie Odom and the Builder offense, I'm sure they're thinking back to that 3rd and 1 where they had one-on-one with Holthus and the pass just a little bit tall for Matthew.
Yeah, just overthrew him just a little bit. But, one of the things that Southwest are going to try to do here, is take some time off the clock, get your defense a breather, get a sustained drive down here, because actually they looked pretty good that first drive, had some good things happen, and I thought they had the ability to run the ball up the middle, which is not easy to do against this Friends team.
1st and 10, Southwestern. From their own 29-yard line, Jamie Odom just going to keep it himself, following a block of Mazik, and he's out to the 32. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 for Southwestern.
I thought that was a good call there. You just saw it. You got that little mini motion to see what coverage was going to happen, and you still had that man advantage. And so you just have a lead blocker by your running back and let the quarterback keep it.
So it's 2nd down and 6 here for SC. Odom with Joshua Mazik to his right. 3-down lineman for the Falcons. Odom looking to throw. Firing it into traffic and almost picked off as Andrew Arnold, the linebacker out of Antlers, Oklahoma, nearly had not only a pick mark, but maybe a pick 6.
There was nobody in front of him had he caught that ball, and he was just kind of spying that little underneath route. Nothing open there. Good protection there by Southwestern. Odom had all kinds of time to throw the ball, but great defense by Friends.
For the Falcons, Ethan Grimet, Jero Castillo, and Barrett Rhodes, and Demario Sims up front. Arnold, Skrabecki, Lane, and Zerger are the linebackers. Braylon J, Saya Ponte, Wetu Colomo in the secondary. 3rd down. We're seeing this from Terry Harrison's teams, those defensive line, you don't know who's coming, who's not coming, and we're going to get a timeout called here by Brad Griffin. And welcome back out of the Mound Builder timeout. 3rd down and 6. Last week against McPherson, Friends fell behind 21-7 and then proceeded to outscore McPherson 49-11 the rest of the way. Today, a different story for the Falcons as they're off to a 14-0 lead. Wind blowing, rain falling. And the Builders need a 3rd down conversion here. 2 deep safety look for the Falcons. Jamie Odom taking a look to his right. Now to his left, he'll take the snap. He's got some time. Now pressure coming. He'll roll to his right. He's going to run for it. Being pursued. Odom got to the stick. We'll see where he went out of bounds. The referee walking up the line. Looks like they're going to mark him just shy here, Mark.
Boy, they marked him really shy.
He stretched it out, and we don't know where his foot went out.
2 yards short.
Referee's right there. He's at the 37-yard line. It is 4th down and 2 for Southwestern. And Brad Griffin says, again, you'd love to go for it, Mark, but this seems to be the smart play.
Yeah, play the field position and, get the snap. And
for the Friends defense, they've allowed just 1 first down in the first 2 Mound Builder drives. Caden Clark gets a snap and will boot it away. High kick all the way back to the Friends 10-yard line. And brought down at the 17-yard line.
Yeah, good punt. Great punt there.
Well, and there's that field position change. And now that SC defense, it's been so good this season. But again, this is a different animal when you're playing the Falcons. But I'm sure they're looking for a stop here, Mark.
It is. They'll make some adjustments and some changes, and the defensive line will get used to that type of blocking that you traditionally haven't seen from a team, until you play Friends. Getting used to getting cut and things like that takes a little bit of getting used to and getting your hands out in front of you. And, it's still all about assignment football and see if you can't go up and make a play.
So 1st and 10 for Friends University at their own 20-yard line. Baker keeping it himself over the left side, and he'll be brought down. Might have been Drayshawn Flowers over there on the outside linebacker position, bringing Baker down for a yard or 2 gain.
Yeah, good job staying at home and stretching that defense out, stretching that run out just a little bit and coming up with a good play.
So a 2nd down and 8 coming up here for the Falcons. Falcons in their road white tops, gray pants, red stripe, red numerals, gray helmet. Both Friends and Southwestern winning games last year in the NAIA tournament. Here's Baker giving off to Sykes, I believe. No, it's outside. Baker kept it, Mark, and he ends up over on the outside, and he's got a 1st down for the Falcons out to the 33, 34-yard line. The Falcons' offense is a broadcaster nightmare.
Yeah, well, they are, because you think you got him stopped. Grow a great hurdle there by Baker. the defender put his head down to make a leg tackle, which is what you want to do, and good job of hurdling over and getting a first down out of that deal. I'm still watching the offensive line. And, Southwestern's defensive line, they're getting cut on every play. They got to get their hands out in front of them and start protecting themselves a little more.
1st and 10, Friends, and they'll toss it to the outside. And a nice chunk of yardage here for Friends as they toss it out to Jace Martin, 5'9" running back, and he picks up a nice chunk here, Mark, about 8 yards.
They certainly have a lot of success running off their left side with that left center or left guard and left tackle doing a really good job blocking for him right now.
So a lot of options here for the Falcon offensive coordinator. 2nd down and a yard. They actually gave him 9 there. The ball resting at the Falcon 41-yard line. Cavante gets under center, and he's just going to keep it himself, and he is going to have the first down, brought down close to the 45-yard line. Baker, unlike a lot of quarterbacks, as Brad said in our pregame talk, is more like a running back. I mean, he takes those hits, and it's not like you're hitting an actual quarterback, Mark.
No, he's a running back that can throw the football, and he can throw it well, which makes him extremely dangerous. But he's just been in this offense for so long and just kind of understands what Friends is trying to do offensively and what they're trying to accomplish, and so he knows he's got that innate ability to recognize when he should keep it, when he should hand it, when he should pitch it. And I think that he reads that. I don't think it's called from the sidelines. A lot of option times you see there's a certain aspect of it that's called, but in his case, I think he's truly reading it and making good decisions a lot of the time.
1 quarter in the books here from Winfield, 14-0 Friends.
Friends has done a great job answering the call when it comes to the offensive performance that we've seen from Southwestern throughout this season so far. So kudos to them, but Southwestern's got to get something going offensively. If nothing else, they've got to keep their defense off the field.
So the Falcons, as they switch sides, are now heading to the north end zone. 1st down and 10 from their own 44-yard line. Baker gives it off to Cordova over the right side. He's got a good hole, and he's finally brought down in the Mound Builders secondary. Brought down at the Mound Builder 40-yard line, and that'll be a 1st down for the Falcons.
Friends does a pretty good job of getting to that second level of linebackers where the linebackers maybe sometimes are able to scrape and make that play. So far, they're doing a pretty decent job getting to that second level of getting the linebackers at least. They've got to pick whether you're going to go over the top or go underneath, and then they'll bend that run depending on which way that linebacker goes.
They're so methodical. They take plenty of time taking a look, making sure they got the right play. Play clock getting thin doesn't bother them one bit. Here's Baker under center. 1st and 10 from the Mound Builder 40. Wants to throw. Airs it down the field, and he overshot his receiver. He was looking for DJ Pearson over the middle. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Builder secondary didn't look fooled on that one, Mark.
No, they didn't. They kind of had it bracketed and had to put it in there perfect, and it didn't quite do it.
Just looking at the numerous puddles on the Jim Helmer track here at Giant Stadium, and I still see the rain falling.
Yeah, I think just a slight mist, drizzle, whatever you want to call it. Still plenty wet. This field drains really well. It's just wet.
2nd down and 10. Handoff. No, it's a toss-up to the outside, and Southwestern's got it bottled up. They finally pitched it over to Caden Rigsby, and he got a yard to the Builder 39, but it'll bring up 3rd and long for Friends.
A pretty good job by Southwestern's corner where he kind of stood that corner up or that wide receiver up and didn't give him a chance, kept outside contained, and actually the running back actually ran into the wide receiver.
DJ Pearson over there on that far sideline. Builder fans, cheerleaders trying to make some noise here. SC's defense looking for a stop. You just can ill afford to fall behind by a ton of scores against this machine of Friends University. Baker will give it off to Cordova over the right side. Nice gain, and then a big tackle at the end of it. But on 3rd and 9, Friends picks up about 7 and certainly makes this a manageable 4th down.
Yeah, make it 4th down and 3, and Friends has been in this position many, many times this year so far, so nothing new to them.
It's 4th down. Friends has already converted a 4th down here today. Well, that was just a quick hitter right there to Cordova over the right side. 4th down, and we'll call it 2 here. Becker gets under center. And Becker looking to do it himself. Shrugged off a tackle. He's got the first down to the 28-yard line. The Builders had a chance, but Cavante too strong as he shredded that tackle mark and gets the big first down for Friends.
Yeah, big-time play there by Friends to make that happen.
There's always that pitch available to Becker. He just, like you said, he just reads. It's not really scripted. He's doing his thing.
He's just kind of reading, and if he's kind of coached. If there's an opening, then you take it, and then see what you can get. You got to get 3 yards, but he makes more good decisions than he does bad ones.
2 4th down conversions for the Falcons. On 1st down, Becker wants to throw. He's got Becker wide open down the middle of the field. Touchdown! Baker to Becker, who ran unguarded down the middle of the field. And Baker, actually, I thought took a little too much time, but he made sure of that throw and hit number 80 right between the 8 and the 0.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you set up and you're running the ball and you're pounding it and all of a sudden you're unconscious, and then all of a sudden you just sneak your tight end down the middle and nobody's covering.
Friends 3 for 3 on touchdown drives today. They lead 20-0, and they wait for Boscher's extra point. A little bit of a high snap. The hold is down, and the kick is good. 11:55 to go in the second quarter. Friends 21, Southwestern 0. After Friends converted on 4th and 2, they get the touchdown. They lead 21-0. Boscher's kick headed towards Joshua Mazik. Fields it at the 11-yard line. Mazik looking to make a play here on special teams, but great coverage by Friends. Mazik, Mark, wanted to take it to the other side, but boy, the Falcons had it all stuffed up there in the middle.
Yeah, I think they'd set up kind of a left return, but boy, when you're able to kick that ball to the numbers, that is a long way to go, and a lot to ask of your special teams to hold those blocks that long.
So, almost to the point here, Mark, early in this game, but Mont Builder offense really needs to show up here.
Yeah, this is a pretty critical drive for them. If nothing else, you're giving your defense a chance to sit under there and get some coaching, make some adjustments, catch their air, but they need a good sustained drive here.
Jamie Odom sending Chambers in motion. Odom keeps it and now will duck his head and get a couple of yards out to the 22-yard line. First time here at Jantz, we've been able to see Bryce Chambers back. He did play last week at Sterling, but remember week 1, first play of the game for Southwestern. He broke his wrist laying out for a Odom pass, but he's back now and played last week, and good to see him back here on the turf here at Beta Row Move Field.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good to see him back.
2nd down and 8 for Southwestern. In motion is Smythe. Odom wanting to throw. 3-man rush. Firing down the sideline for Joe Smythe. He makes the catch. Broke a tackle. Smythe at midfield and now will be barreled down. But that's a 28-yard pass play and an A-to-Z mini storage first down for SC.
You got to like that. That was a great catch. Great concentration. Not the best throw. Kind of a wobbly duck going into this wind. You don't see the wind blowing with the flag because the flag is wet, but 9-mile-an-hour wind, throwing it in there. Great catch, great reception, great first down.
Odom to throw. Some blitz coming. Jamie stepping up and is hit and fumbled the football. Bryce Chambers is there to cover it. And Southwestern will actually get a yard on the play. Friends was they had to sub out their D-back, Tavi Agnew, who was hobbling out after that last play. Southwestern trying to go in a hurry, but they couldn't get everyone lined up to go as quickly as they wanted to. 2nd down and 9 for Southwestern at the Falcon 47-yard line. 21-0 Friends, 10 minutes to go until halftime. Odom Giving it off to Mazik. Mazik made a jump cut. Now muscling his way. He's still on his feet and nearly broke a bunch of tackles. He's close and might have, an A to Z mini storage first down. What a hard run from Joshua Mazik, who we've been delighted by his speed. I know Brad Griffin's been looking for that power running from him.
Yeah, and you saw it right there. He just didn't stop his feet, kind of bounced off. But that's a great momentum lifter for Southwestern. You can move the football on this team.
1st and 10 Southwestern at the Falcon 38-yard line. Moving left to right. Odom takes a snap. Late blitz coming in. Odom trying to shred a tackle. Now throws it at the feet of Mazik, who was being contacted actually down the field, but no flag there. It's incomplete, and Odom saved himself about 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, way to stay up, and easily could have gone down on that one, but stayed up enough where he could at least throw it in the ground close to a receiver and not get a penalty out of it, but you survive for the next down.
Jamie Odom, 6'2", 210. Out of San Diego. 2nd down and 10 here for Southwestern. Friends rotating in the secondary. Odom gives it off to Mazik. Mazik trying to shred tackles. He does to the 30. Cuts it back inside 25. Brought down from behind at the 19-yard line. Joshua Mazik with an A to Z mini storage first down. But we do have an injured Builder lineman. But Mazik, we see him breaking another tackle, Mark. Let me ask you this. As it's raining, is it harder? Do uniforms become harder to latch onto?
Oh, I suppose I never thought of that, but I suppose, they could get a little slick. They're supposed to be kind of water wicking. But, yeah, certainly could be. But I'm looking at that injury of Southwestern. That looks like that's Arnold Portillo.
The center. So we'll see if that is Conley Matthews now centering for SC. Again, those numbers a little more tricky for us to read. 54, okay. Jamie Odom, 1st and 10 Southwestern at the Friends 19. Odom wants to throw, firing into the end zone. He's got a man. Caught. Touchdown. Southwestern. Touchdown for Joe Smythe. And the Mound Builders are on the board. A little drift to the right by Odom, and then he threw it over the middle mark, and Smythe came up with the catch.
Yeah, great job. We talked about Smythe's speed, but, he had 2 or 3 steps on his defender on that one. So great throw, great protection there by Southwestern's offensive line. Puts the Builders on the board.
Needed that. Preston Fancher out to kick. We talked in the pregame. Parker Meadows, the normal holder for SC, is injured. And so now holding is Roland Harvey. Backup quarterback for Southwestern. Puts it down. Fancher's kick is up, and it is through. 8:39 to go. First half. Friends 21, Southwestern 7.
That extra effort, there's only 3 or 4 extra yards that he got, but you could see the sideline jumping up and down. But, yeah, it kind of turned the tide just a little bit on that series.
Schaefer's kick will be fielded a step deep into the end zone and out to the 24, and a good open field tackle at the 23-yard line. Returning there for the Falcons was what we believe is Jace Martin.
Yeah, good coverage there by Southwestern. When you kick that ball right to that goal line, you get it out 23. That's a 23-yard gain, but you think that's a great stop by Southwestern.
Yeah. So 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Their offense has been rolling here in this first half. The Mound Builder defense, another opportunity here. You got the field where you want it, and now can you get, even a 3-and-out here would be big for the Mound Builder psyche. Cavante Baker will give it off to Sykes up the middle, and Sykes across the 25 to the 26-yard line, and a gain of 3 on first down.
The Friends center, I think that's Doug Greider, senior, 6'2", 270. He does one of the best jobs I've seen as far as snapping that ball and staying low and firing off. He's impressive at that center position, and then you got Kel Stroud right beside him, a 6'5", 300-pound. Those two guys are firing off as well as any offensive line we've seen so far this year.
Trying to look at that number. It almost looks like 53 from up here centering. Here's Baker getting away from some leg tackles and then darting in Britt Witchen for Southwestern to bring Baker down for pretty much no gain.
That's Caleb Bruce.
Caleb Bruce is centering.
Sophomore, 6'2", 285. That's even more impressive that you have a sophomore in there doing some really good things.
It's 3rd down and 6 for Friends. Braylon Jay, a defensive back, is out there, unless there's another number 5 that I don't have here, but he's a defensive guy, but he's kind of lined up there in that slot position. Here's 3rd down and 6. And Baker keeping. He'll toss it out to Jay, and Jay is going to be brought down, well shy of a first down at about the 28-yard line. And maybe a 3-and-out. We'll see what Terry Harrison wants to do here. You would think punt, but again, this Friends machine is not afraid to go for it.
There comes the team. There it goes. Yep.
They're not going to reveal their hand too soon, are they?
Well, you got 6:46 left in the half. I mean, certainly we talked about it all the time about, last thing you want to see happen is, Southwestern go down and score because Southwestern gets the ball right after half. So, play the field position game and at least make them march down the field.
Brad Griffin having to use a timeout. Drayshawn Flowers, after that last play, I don't know if he was hung up over on the Friends sideline or what. And I don't think Brad wanted to risk a penalty, Mark. We'll just keep it right here as we saw Drayshawn going all the way around the south end zone.
You don't see that very often, do you?
But would that be a penalty? Kieran, our executive producer?
Out of play, so he would be fine. But you don't know with a random rain game, and it's freezing cold, you might get a random call somewhere. So it's better to be safe than sorry on a 4th and 5.
Fun to have Kieran, who does so much work. He and Trey Abasolo with cameras and producing, and then we can get Kieran's voice on there. He needs his voice on more.
Yeah, we should probably switch jobs.
Yeah. I don't know if you and I could push all the buttons and do what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, you can push them. They may not be the right ones.
It may be the wrong ones. Bond Builders are back here next week. It'll be, you got homecoming this week and senior day next week because SC ends the season with back-to-back road games in Leavenworth and in Salina. So Friends out to punt. And the kick is away, and nice skying ball. Noah Roberts makes a fair catch and makes a really impressive sliding catch here, Mark. That's a dangerous play, but Noah has gotten so good at punt return. Made the fair catch signal and made the catch.
He did. We saw a couple like that in the first World Series game where it was slide and dive and catch and make it look easy. It's not.
What a great time of year. We got, of course, college football going on, the World Series going on, hockey's into its about third week of the season. The NBA just started this week.
I bet they wish they had started on a little bit better note than the news coming out of the NBA with the gambling and stuff like that. That's certainly not how you want to start your season if you're a bigwig in the NBA.
1st down and 10, Southwestern at their own 33. Odom giving it off to Mazik, and this time Friends able to corral him and bring him down. Nice open field tackle made there. Looked like Tyson Wallace, a sophomore linebacker out of Goddard.
Yeah, some local flavor making some impacts here at Friends University.
I think Terry Harrison's done such a great job of recruiting Goddard and Mays and
Wichita. He does
Wichita area.
Certainly in Wichita. I mean, you're a Wichita school and you expect it, but he's got some really good players out of Wichita schools.
Brock Zerger out of Derby. 2nd down and 9. Odom, as pressure's coming, he will unload it over here to the sideline. Caught. Matthew Holden. Oh, check that. It's Aiden Koenig with the catch at the 47-yard line, and that's an A-to-Z mini storage 1st down, I think, but there's a flag back here at the 27-yard line.
It's going to be on them. So they'll decline it. But that was a great route. That ball was thrown, and the receiver hadn't even broken completely out of his route yet. So great timing, great trust of his receivers to run that route where they're supposed to.
Roughing the passer called against Friends. So it is an A to Z mini storage first down and a whole bunch of more yardage for the Builders. Referee keeps walking it up, and so they go from their own 47 after the completion mark to the Friends 37-yard line.
Yeah, that's a big play. It was a great pass and catch, and then you throw that unsportsmanlike late hit.
1st and 10 Builders. Clock running, 5:29 to go, second quarter. Odom going to keep it himself. Trying to get to the edge, and he's out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Pick up a couple of yards.
That's a pretty good read there, too. Again, I think Odom saw that he had corner blitz coming from the wide side of the field, and so just kind of kept the ball and was running away from that pressure. Friends does bring some pressure, and when they do bring a lot of pressure from their defensive backs, it does seem to be from the wide side of the field today.
And you have an SC offense. I mean, they have Mazik back there, but a lot of times it's an empty backfield. So no one there to pick up those blitzers.
Right.
Out to the 34-yard line. So it's 2nd down and 7 here for Southwestern. The all-purple uniforms for SC. The give is to Mazik over the right side. Mazik spun forward. And he's close to a first down. He's going to be about a half a yard shy.
Yeah, he's going to be a little short, and I think Brad will go for it here.
Demario Sims, 6'2", 240 on the D-line. 3rd down and a yard for Southwestern at the Friends 28. Defensive guy, look at that. No one's sitting on the bench here on either sideline. After so many warm games, here we are. Football weather, as Mark Scott would say.
It is football weather.
A little wet, but you like the temperature, I know.
I do.
Odom with the play clock getting down to 4 and now 3. He'll take the snap at 2. Looking to throw. Firing to the far side. And a one-handed grab by Matthew Holthus as he goes out of bounds at the 4-yard line. It's an A to Z mini storage first down. What a catch by Holthus.
Great catch. Nothing wrong with the coverage at all for Friends. That's just a great catch by the best receiver maybe Southwestern's had.
Ever had. All-time receptions and yardage leader. He lines up here to the near side. 1st and goal, Southwestern at the Friends 4-yard line. Odom looking to throw, pressure coming, stepping up, firing into the end zone, and just really getting rid of it. Holthus over to the far side of the field. Pretty much one-on-one out there. Empty backfield as Odom takes a snap, looking, firing a slant to Holthus, and he had a defender on his back as he tried to make the catch. No flag, and it's 4th down. Great job of recovery there by the D-back, Witu Kalomo.
2 minutes and 30 seconds. Going to go for the field goal, see if you can hold them. You get the ball back at the half, and you're only down by 11.
Well, again, I think I know early in his career probably would go for this, but there's been games. I remember the game at Bethel years ago when he wishes he would have gone for some field goals that eventually cost him. So he'll take their points here if they can get it. Out of the hold of Martin. Fancher's 27-yard field goal is up and good. Preston Fancher, there is a flag. Roland Harvey, I should say, was the one holding for Southwestern. And who knows, referees are discussing a little bit there. Brad Griffin, a very interested bystander. If it's a leverage penalty, could give Southwestern a first down. Normally when flags on kicks, usually the teams know right away and you see them vacate or back up. And this is going to go against the Falcons, it looks like.
They might get a first down out of this, too.
So, personal foul on the Falcons, Mark, and that gives SC a fresh set of downs.
It was a late flag. It was, it was almost after the ball was kicked, but.
So they move the ball to the 2-yard line in the Builder offense. They'll take the 3 points off. It was leaping.
Was it? Okay.
Friends is going to use a timeout here. So first and goal, Southwestern at the Friends 2-yard line. Odom's going to keep it himself. Lower the shoulder, spin, put the ball over the goal line. Touchdown, Southwestern. Touchdown, Jamie Odom. So they capitalize on the personal foul penalty mark, and instead of 3, they get 6, looking for 7.
There you go. That's what you needed. So get right back in this ball game. Now you got to have a good defensive stand here with 2.5 minutes left in the first half.
Fancher will try an extra point for Southwestern. Again, Jackson Meadows is the normal holder for SC, but he is injured. So Roland Harvey, senior quarterback out of Houston, Texas, has taken over that role for SC. And he puts it down. Fancher's kick is up, and it's good. 2:23 to go until halftime. Friends 21, Southwestern 14. So welcome back here to Jant Stadium. Friends raced out to a 21-0 lead, but the Mound Builders come back with back-to-back touchdowns to make it 21-14. Jeremiah Schaefer to kick it off for SC. Young man out of Augusta angles it towards the left side, and that'll skirt out of bounds for a penalty. But, Mark, it always sounds so basic to me when coaches say we need complementary football, but it's so true. We see the Builder defense get a 3 and out, then the offense marches down and they do their thing. They go hand in hand, don't they?
They do. They complement one another, and it's one of those deals where you got it. The first quarter, the defense is on the field a lot. Friends had 3 great sustained drives. A couple of them short distance field position, but still really good drives. And so you're out there a lot. You're getting gassed a little bit. So hey, it's up to the offense. Hey, let's just get a drive. We get a drive, and guess what? They go down and score, and then right off the bat, then you get a 3 and out. Complimentary football.
Friends elects to have Southwestern kick it off again. They'll kick it off from the 30-yard line. Schaefer's kick booms it. It'll take Martin back to the goal line. He's got a little more room to look at here. He takes it out to the 15, to the 20, and out to the 30, to the 35, and close to the 40-yard line.
So pretty close to where he would have been had they just taken the ball after the out of bounds, right?
Yeah, they would have had it at the 35.
Yep.
But I'm sure Terry Harrison likes his game. Those the kick returners, they want to get some room. And, of course, you back up another 5 yards. Even though the kick is a tremendous one by Schaefer, there's a little more room to operate.
A little more room. And I tell you what, I've been watching Friends, at least on their special teams. They're doing a really good job blocking.
So 1st and 10 Friends at their own 39-yard line. They're out of timeouts with 2:15 to go until intermission. Cavante Baker will give it off to Cordova, who's really running well for the Falcons. He'll pick up 9 yards to the 48. Friends is going to go with a little more pace, you would imagine, here, as they won't get another playoff before the 2-minute timeout. We'll take it, 21-14 Friends. Or check. All right. Yeah. I was wondering what the clock stopped. The clock operator knew what to do. Hey, we'll take 1 minute. We'll be right back. Welcome back. 2-minute timeout. Luke Smith knew to stop that clock at 2 minutes. And our public address tonight, Rick Reutman, Mark, someone you know well.
I do. Have the pleasure of seeing Rick out at the golf course. He's a good golfer. We've actually coached against one another.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Baker keeping it, rolling to his right, shrugging off tacklers. He'll get out of bounds at the Mound Builder 45-yard line, and that'll be a Friends first down. So Rick's golf game is good. Is he good off the tee? Is it the short game?
Well, if you ask him, he'll tell you that this year he's played a lot of golf, but he has never played a full round of golf this year because he's struggling. But I've seen him play, and he is very, very consistent.
All right. 21-14 here, Falcons. No golf today, though, probably.
No golf today. I didn't even get to mow the greens today.
Big possession here for the Falcon offense, the Mound Builder defense. Baker, and we've got maybe some movement. False start's going to go against Friends University. But again,
it's going to be a pass, too.
You mentioned, SC gets the ball to start the third quarter. They want to get that ball down 7, not 14.
Correct, yeah. You got to get a stop here.
We've seen Bosher on his extra points bang him, in fact, into the grassy area behind the scoreboard on the north end. So, and they've got the wind at their back. So certainly his range has got to be, I would say, beyond 40 yards.
I would think, yeah.
So for the Falcons to have even a field goal opportunity, they only need about 20 more yards. Terry Harrison, though, would like to cash in for 6. So 1st and 15. And a toss to the other side. And again, and getting out of bounds is Caden Rigsby. And picked up some decent yardage there on 1st and long. He'll be marked out at the 43-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
I like the play call. You don't have any timeouts left. You got to stop the clock somehow. So it's a quick toss. That one's called right from the get-go. Try to extend out and try to get out of bounds and save some time.
Still 1:47. Plenty of time here for the Falcons, but again, they are out of timeouts. Baker with Rigsby going in motion.
Pass.
Baker wants to throw, rolling to the left, throws it downfield, and incomplete. That one fluttered a little bit on him as he was looking downfield. It looked like, well, I couldn't get the number.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
3rd down and he was looking for it was 0 there. That was might have been Lopez. Nonetheless, 3rd down and 8 here for Friends. And now if you're SC, if you can get a stop, maybe you can get the ball back. Baker will give it off to Cordova, and he stopped at the 41-yard line. So it'll be 4th down. And this is where Brad's in a tough spot. The Mound Builder football coach, you don't really want to give Friends a free timeout here.
Right, yeah, you don't want to call a timeout.
So Friends.
So they'll take, 29 seconds off of it. And
be interesting if they go for it, or if they didn't get it, Southwestern would then have a chance to take it downfield maybe.
They're going to go for it here.
Play clock down to 14. We'll be under a minute when Friends snaps this one. 4th down. And it's Baker keeping. He'll toss it out here to Lopez. Lopez turning it upfield. Great gain here for the Falcons as they run to the left side again. And it's a 1st down and a big gain. Out of bounds is Lopez at the Mound Builder 20-yard line, a gain of 21.
Yeah, just great blocking downfield by Friends and no leverage to come up and get to the pitch.
Of course, Friends was trying to use enough clock there in case they didn't get it to limit SC. But now the Falcons have 51 seconds and 20 yards to navigate. SC needs to stop and inbounds, preferably. Baker wanting to throw, firing it to the outside. There's some contact, and it'll be a pass interference against SC. It looked like Corey McCoy wanted to try to undercut that route mark, but a great job by DJ Pearson to also come back and create the contact.
Well, he did, and I don't think he expected Pearson to kind of come back to the ball on that route, and he was trying to undercut it, and they kind of ran into one another and tripped him up. But
so it's a spot foul there since it wasn't beyond 15 yards. And now the Falcons, with 46 seconds to go, will have it at the Mound Builder 8-yard line. 1st and goal for Friends. Gut check time now for the purple and black on the defensive side.
Yeah, got to come up with something here. Had he been able to undercut that route, I think he would have intercepted the ball.
Here's Baker. Giving it off to Cordova, who was brought down immediately. In fact, will lose 2 yards to the 10-yard line. Clock running, Friends hustling back to the line. 2nd and goal. Baker will clock it. And that'll bring up 3rd down and goal from the 10. A little surprised to see them clock it there, but again, how good this running offense is, Mark. 10 yards to Friends isn't much.
Historically, even in this game, they've been able to dial up some pretty good running plays that have got chunks of yardage.
So 3rd down and goal at the 10. Baker keeping. Nowhere to go. He's going backwards, but there's no one over here on this side. Baker to the 5, and he'll score. What a play by Cavante Baker. He scores it with 23 seconds to go. Mark, he was in no man's land, but he has great vision, saw no one here to the near side, and then picked up a couple of blocks and powered his way in.
Yeah, you get him bottled up like that, and he reverses direction and then makes something happen.
Huge drive for the Falcons. Bosher to try the extra point. And that kick is good. A deflating score to the Mound Builder Nation. 28-14 Friends. Well, Mark Scott, there is a reason why Friends is ranked number 4 in the nation. It's because they've got number 3, Cavante Baker. It looked like he was going to be dropped for a 5-6 yard loss with the clock running. It would have been 4th down. They would have had to hurry. Instead, he makes a play.
Yeah, they get him bottled up and stop at that momentum, and he just makes something happen when he reverses direction.
Mazik will let this one bounce, and it goes out of bounds. So Southwestern has an option here. Do they take it at the 35, or do they make Bosher kick it again? And again, you could also maybe afford Mazik or Smythe some extra room if you make him kick it again. But I think Brad's going to take that ball at the 35-yard line. He's got, I believe, one timeout remaining.
One timeout, I thought, yeah.
And Southwestern still discussing here. Okay, they're going to make him re-kick it.
Yep.
So we'll see if that gives Smythe and Mazik a little more room.
Yeah, I don't mind that call. Making them re-kick it. They may not try to kick it up in the air. They may try to squib kick it on the ground and line drive it and see if they can get some weird bounces or something like that. But yeah, if you can give your 2 returners a chance to maybe get out and start that possession at the 50-yard line as opposed to the 35, that would be good.
So Bosher will kick this off from the 30. Good, I thought good decision by Mazik to let that one hit the turf and see if it would skirt out of bounds, and it did. So Bosher, who's been taking some short approaches to the ball, will now take a more traditional approach to it. And it's a high kick. Mazik will field it at the 17-yard line here on the near side, trying to get to the other side of the field. Slipped a couple of tackles, and he's out to the 30-yard line. So they didn't get what they were hoping for, but they gave him a chance.
Hey, that's all you had to do is give a chance. So he got that one up in the air, and good coverage there by Friends, and good job bottling him in and keeping leverage on the outside and forcing everything back into the middle and making a good tackle.
So Southwestern with a timeout and 16 seconds to go. Don't know how frisky you want to get here.
It just kind of depends on what the defense is giving you. I mean, they're going to play a too deep look, nobody deep, but if they leave somebody short in that 16, 17, 18-yard range.
And Jamie Odom's just going to kneel it down. Brad's coached enough of games, Mark, that I think he knows when and when not to maybe be too aggressive here. And he saw his team battle back from a 21-point deficit. They're down 14 here at halftime, but I feel like they still have some momentum going offensively.
Oh, sure, they do. And I think even defensively, I think they're starting to feel things a little bit better. I think that each possession that Friends has had, the defense has played just a little bit better. Yeah, they gave up that touchdown there at the end on that reverse play, but they had that play stopped. It's just one of those fluke things where he could reverse field and make a play, but certainly, yeah, you don't want to ruin your momentum by throwing an interception with 16 seconds left or something like that. You get the ball as soon as you come back from half. So,
well, here at halftime, as well, Mark and I are going to take a break. The video will be able to see the homecoming king and queens out there in the rain. They're going to tough it out. We're also going to introduce the Athletic Hall of Fame inductees that were introduced last night, and they'll get introduced again to this crowd. And Mark and I are going to step aside for a little bit. 28-14 our score here at halftime. Golf wrapping up. They'll get going again in the spring. Short approach from Bosher. He kicks it off to start our second half. Joe Smythe is going to let that bounce and roll out of bounds. And it's another infraction here on the kickoff. Does SC want to just take it at the 35-yard line here? They may, now that we've started a new quarter.
Very possible there. So It's a decent field position to start with.
In fact, Bosher grabbed his tee and is heading on out.
And I know what they're trying to do. I mean, when I was a special teams coordinator for a while, actually here at Southwestern, and so, one of your goals is if you can do it, you try to pin that ball and have it hit the ground between the numbers and the end zone. But usually the person tries to catch it. But at least aim for the numbers so you can shorten down the field, because all of your angles that you're asking your defenders to take are all based on where you're going to place that ball.
The first kickoff Friends did, it bounced near the sideline and bounced back into the field of play, which limited a return for SC. So you can see certainly the thinking there. The Mound Builders shut out in the first quarter, came up with 2 second-quarter touchdowns. They take the ball to start this third quarter from their own 35-yard line. Odom looking to throw. Stepping up, climbing the pocket. Now firing over the middle. Caught. Bryce Chambers came open late, Mark, and great protection by the line. We saw Jamie climb the pocket, and it's a A to Z mini storage first down.
Yeah, that was a really long route. I mean, he had to come all the way from his wide side and then cut all the way back across and then catch that ball clear on the near hash. So that's a long route.
1st and 10 Southwestern at the Friends 42-yard line, moving left to right. Odom takes a snap, looking, navigating. Now layers it for Chambers, who started coming back, and that pass sails over his head, incomplete. Coverage over here by Cy Aponte.
Another one of the seniors on Friends. Senior-ridden 2 deep.
They certainly have aspirations of not only a KCAC Bissell Division title, but going even further in the playoffs. They came so close last year to knocking off the eventual national champion in Grandview. 2nd down and 10 for the Builders. Odom will give it off to Mazik over the left side. Has a hole, takes it up the middle, breaks a tackle, and then kind of got stuck in the turf. He's got an A to Z mini storage first down to the Friends 28, and again, Mark up the middle.
He's got a little bit of coming up, hobbling just a little bit. I think he got his ankle caught underneath him. But that was a great run. They caught Friends in a blitz coming. As soon as he broke that through that first line, there was nobody there to stop him.
And Brad Griffin, we've seen a bevy of backs that are certainly capable, but Mazik has been that back that I think the Builders want to see really explode, and we've seen him play as well today as we've seen him all season.
Yeah, explosive but with power, and so that was good to see. You see a speed and then explosiveness and then some power to break up some blocks and make some things happen.
So he's going to be okay, so Southwestern has used a timeout there, and Mazik unable to put any weight, Mark, on that leg. At the end of that, like it looked like to me he got stuck in the turf, and I'm not sure if a Falcon had him and he just twisted wrong or what. Hopefully this isn't a major injury on Joshua Mazik.
Yeah, you certainly hope not.
Junior running back out of Port Arthur, Texas. Already saw Arnold Portillo have to leave the game today, which I to see Jamie Odom come over and just have a long embrace with Arnold was certainly touching. Quarterbacks and centers have a unique relationship,
they do, don't they? Yep.
So Odom looking here to the near side. And Odom wanting to throw, firing, looking for Holthus. He makes the catch. Jeez, how does he do it? Matthew Holthus with a tremendous catch, a 28-yard touchdown strike from Jamie Odom.
And once again, we talk, what a great catch, because there was absolutely nothing wrong with the defense on that play. Great coverage by Friends, but Holthus just comes up with these awesome catches time after time. It's so much fun to watch and almost leaves you speechless.
It did there. Preston Fancher to try the extra point. And the kick is up. That one is good. 13:29 to go, third quarter. 28-21 Friends. A drive that took just, Less than 90 seconds for Southwestern. They're down the field, and they scored a 28-yard strike. Again, a drive, I'd say again, inspired Mazik with his run. Of course, a great sliding catch by Bryce Chambers, and then an unbelievable catch by Matthew Holthus. High kick here to Martin. He'll field it at the 7-yard line. Looking left, now trying to go right. Martin trying to find some room and dancing around blockers. He's up the sideline and finally out of bounds near the 40. What a great job of reading blocks on that return.
Yeah, a lot of patience there, good blocking. You know, once again, kicking it to that 5, but they have that right side set up, and it takes a long time. So, you know, kudos to Friends for coming up with some blocking schemes, and they're holding on to blocks and allowing their backs to get good grains and good field position for Friends to start this third quarter.
Not a great sign. Mazik has ripped off his pads and jersey. It's not a day to be topless down there, but that's what Joshua is right now. But getting hugs from his teammates generally is an indication that we won't see him anymore today. 1st and 10 Friends. Mark it at the 36-yard line. Baker gives it to Sykes, and he's brought down immediately. Marian Citizen with the stop for SC.
Great job by Citizen there. He was getting cut, got his hands out, pushed that center down, dove over the top, and wrapped up the tackle.
2nd down and 10. No gain on the play. For the Builders, Mark, a deflating score for them, you would think, to go into halftime after Friends scored, but then to march right down in 90 seconds and score and get this back to a 7-point game, huge.
Certainly builds some confidence in your offense there.
Baker keeping over the right side and shredding a one tackle. Carl Malvo slowed him up, and he's brought down, but Baker just pinballs his way to the 41-yard line, and it'll bring up a manageable 3rd down for the Falcons. 3rd down and about 5.
Yeah, puts them in kind of normal position. 3rd down and 5 is nothing for them, especially if they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Ball at the Friends 41-yard line. Early third quarter. Friends leading Southwestern by 7 in this battle of titans in the KCAC today. You just got to imagine everyone in the league who's been whooped by Friends and Southwestern's been excited to see how these two would do.
Yeah, how are these two going to do?
How do they butt heads?
Yep.
Sykes in the backfield, and Baker is hit, but he gave it off to Sykes. Did he not? Maybe Baker kept it, and he did. And that was an immediate hit, Mark. And no gain on the play. It brings up 4th down.
That's when you can decide to start shooting those gaps on some of that 3-3 and taking some chances. You can make an impact play like that.
The second 3-and-out today by the Mound Builder defense after a pretty nice return on the kickoff by Martin. So the Falcons to punt it here. Connor Tillman sailing it downfield. Roberts makes a fair catch as the Falcons were right there ready to feast. But the Mound Builders, yeah, that is a great kick, isn't it?
That was a great kick. Beautiful. Ball turned over. He got extra 7-8 yards because of that turnover.
So the Mound Builders will start deep in their own territory. They'll mark it at the 13-yard line. So the Builder offense, which was sluggish to start, missed a couple of opportunities, has been starting to cash in a little bit. Jamie Odom said he's really studied this Friends defense, what they do. He thinks they generally send 5 and drop 6.
Yep.
Have you seen that?
Yep.
They got 5 way back here in the secondary, don't they? Odom looking to throw. Stepping up, and he'll run with it. Made one man miss, still on his feet, driving forward. What a gutty run by Odom out to the 24, and that'll be an A to Z mini storage 1st down for Southwestern.
Yeah, that was a great run there. They only had 4 down linemen. The 2 linebackers who were faking blitz backed up, but they didn't finally bring an outside backer, so they still rushed 5. But enough guys back in coverage should have been able to stop the quarterback, but that was a great play by Southwestern just to come up with a 1st down on something that should have been stopped.
Jaden Sundgren at running back for Southwestern. Odom takes a look at that Falcon defense. He wants to throw. Shimmies a little bit. Now takes off with it again up the middle. Odom has got another A to Z mini storage 1st down out to the 39-yard line. And Mark. He's not forcing it. He's seeing his openings and taking advantage.
So he's taking it, and that field's wide open. You're bringing linebackers, or they're playing on the outside, or they're going with the back to the outside. It's wide open for 13, 14 yards before you make any contact at all. If they stay in that defense, you expect to see more of that.
So 1st and 10 Southwestern at the Mound Builder 39-yard line. 9:57 to go here in the third quarter.
Now they'll switch more to a single high, bring more people in the box.
Odom, quick throw, caught, and a quick tackle made. Builders get it, I believe Koenig, was it Smythe or Koenig? I think it was Koenig with the catch, and they pick up 4 yards.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you see that blitz, you think it's coming, try to throw the hot. Corner was playing off. Pretty easy pass and catch.
So 2nd down and 6 for SC. Looks like Joe Smythe now lined up to the right of Jamie Odom. Friends D-line dancing around and fake the sweep. Odom keeping it, but Friends swarms him over. Great defense there by the Falcons. They'll bring Odom down for no gain, and a 3rd and 6 coming up.
Kind of putting a little bit more spy on the quarterback now.
Mark, the challenge for the O-line when the Friends D-line and linebackers are all about 3-4 yards off the line.
They just kind of don't know where they're going to be or who's going to come where and what gaps and things like that. So, if it's a pass play and you got slide protection called, it's not that big of a deal. You just know you're going to slide and pick the first one that crosses your face. But if it's a run, it makes it a little more difficult.
Play clock down to 7. Twin receivers here to the near side for Southwestern. Odom wanting to throw, firing for Holthus, and he's got all sorts of jersey being tugged on him, and there comes a flag as Holthus took a late shot after the incompletion. It was a late flag thrown out there. The defender, the corner mark, had Holthus by the shoulder pad the entire route.
Yeah, I had holding him back big time and still almost made the play and then come up with a hit after the fact the ball's dropped.
So this is either going to be PI or unnecessary roughness, I would guess, here on the Falcons. And could you attach 2 penalties to that? Possibly, no? Kieran,
well, I never saw the flag for the PI.
Is that PI right away when he goes to catch the ball?
So a long discussion here on the near sideline. The hit, Mark, it wasn't a headshot. It was a hard hit. And maybe they're discussing a possible target, but I didn't see him go to the head, but it was a high shot. So they'll get the late hit call here on Wetu Colomo. And that'll give Southwestern an A to Z mini storage first down. Terry Harrison pleading his case. Did they give him, the ball's marked at the 42-yard line. Trying to remember where that last play was snapped from, Kieran. It is right? Okay. So 1st and 10 Southwestern. Next, what probably should be our first concern, Mark, is how was Matthew Holthus? And he was down on the ground for a moment there.
Yeah, I'm looking for him, and I don't see him.
Odom looking to throw, firing it into some traffic, and it actually got to Hunter Reeves and dropped an incomplete.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird one. You got 2 guys in the same area, and might have been a missed route on one of those.
Holthus coming back into the game now for SC on 2nd and 10. Chambers a little bit of a hobble as he comes out of the game. Builders have already lost today, Arnold Portillo, and it certainly appears Joshua Mazik. 3 deep safety here for Friends. 2nd down and 10 for SC. Odom wants to run with it, trying to get outside, and he's going to be spun down to Mario Sims with a great defensive play for the Falcons.
Yeah, good pressure there by the Friends Falcons, not letting James Odom get to the outside.
So a 3rd down and long for Southwestern, 3rd and 12.
You'll see pressure, probably see pressure from Friends. Looks like we're going to have some press corners down here on the bottom. So locked up man-to-man, safety help over the top.
Casey Lehman getting right up here on Holthus and on the edge closest to us. Odom wanting to throw, 4-man rush coming over the middle. Joe Smythe with a terrific catch, but then it came out of his hands. It'll be incomplete. That would have been a spectacular catch and one that I know Joe Smythe feels like he should have had.
Yeah, certainly had his chance. I mean, that's a tough throw, and it would have been an even tougher catch. We wish he would have caught that one, but
great response by the Falcon defense after that penalty on 3rd down. Gave SC a fresh set, but their defense stands tall. So now Caden Clark. Brother Kevin was on our Game Day Live program. Low snap, Clark's got it, and the kick is towards this side, and it'll stay in bounds and then bounce out inside the 20-yard line. And the referee walking up the line, it'll be Friends football at their own 14. So a rarity, we see the Friends offense stopped and then the Mound Builder offense stopped. And the Falcons, leading by 7, will take over with 7:10 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Builders coming in with 1 loss, a game that Brad Griffin has told Kieran, Trey, and I multiple occasions he wishes he had that back. He would have changed his game plan a little bit.
Yep.
But you can't get him back. Here's Baker giving it off to Cordova over the right side. And, boy, I like how he runs with that ball, Mark. It is covered up. It's hard to strip it. It looked like came loose late, but that's an 11-yard run and a 1st down for the Falcons.
Yeah, he tucks that ball in, and Cordova's not big until you get there and you look at him, and his legs are huge.
26-yard line is where he ran that out, so a 12-yard run for Cordova. Nick Cordova, sophomore out of Humble, Texas. 1st down and 10 for the Falcons. And it'll be a toss to the far side, and SC's got that bottled up pretty well. Caden Rigsby is dropped after a gain of a couple. Flag down. Laundry on the Sea of Humanity over there. Face mask called on Southwestern, and the guilty party, they said 46. That's J.J. Crawford, who's a freshman D-back out of Paola. Is that right, though, Kieran?
I think he's 26.
I don't see a 40. I don't see 26. Milton Lewis III.
Yeah, I didn't see 46 either, so I started looking.
Not a name that we've said very often at all this season. So that penalty puts the ball out at the 44-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 for the Falcons. Baker wanting to throw. Nothing downfield. Races here to the near side. Jump throw across everybody. It'll be caught, and then a big hit. But a completion to the 36-yard line to Rigsby, and a flag late here resting at the 48-yard line. Cavante Banker with a jump throw across the field, Mark.
Across the line of scrimmage?
Well, I didn't think so. If he did, I think the flag would be down here. They snapped that at the 44-yard line. Maybe ineligible? Ineligible man downfield.
All right. I didn't think he was across the line of scrimmage, so I couldn't figure out what it was.
Mark, you always have compassion for those O-linemen. A play that's drawn out like that, they want to get upfield, right?
Well, they do, and then you think, okay, everybody's going chasing after the quarterback. It must be a run. He's scrambling. I'm going to go down and block somebody. That's what you tell him to do. So
and then the
can't
throw
get too
comes.
mad at him in film session the next day to say, yeah, I get it.
So it's 1st and 15. Ball back at the 39-yard line. Becker gives it off to Cordova, who's grinding, getting those 5 yards back. Then those big heavies are pushing, and Cordova actually will squeeze out 6 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. I was coming into this game, and I know, Kieran and Trey gave me the amazing stats on Adarian Sykes. We haven't seen a heavy load for Sykes, and I haven't watched enough Friends games to know if that's unusual or not, but Cordova is certainly very good back there.
Yeah, he runs the ball well. He runs hard. He's thick. His legs are huge, and he protects the ball.
Mazik with ice on his left knee heading to the trainer's room. Here's Becker trying to jump. Now tosses to Lopez at the last moment, and he's going to take it up the sideline, and a big gain for the Falcons. When they thought they had Cavante Baker down, he continues to keep plays alive.
That's why he's so special, and that's why that you have to plan for him. He makes things happen. Last minute, thought you had him. Assignment football, one of those things. Great play by Friends.
Lopez just lingering out there, Mark, in that being available. And the Falcons get a first down to the Mound Builder 32-yard line. Clock down to 4:20 here in this third quarter. Cavante Baker runs into his own man, tries to come back this way, and he'll be brought down. Drayshawn Flowers in on the stop for Southwestern, along with Corbin Williams at the 30-yard line. But even on a busted play, Baker gets 2.
Yeah. Yep. Good. You wrap him up for 2, but that's good defense right there.
Right off the snap, he and Cordova bumped into each other. Just like watch that O-line, just they're all in position, just waiting for their leader to tell them to get ready to go. 2nd down and 8. And they'll toss it to Rigsby on the right side. And Rigsby's got some room out to the 20, a little stop and go, and finally brought down inside the 15-yard line.
That Friends football team, they do such a good job blocking on the perimeter when the ball is going to go out there. And great job sealing pursuit off from your inside linebackers.
Drew Smith and Brad Griffin felt like there was a hold somewhere in there as both of them were barking at the white hat. First down for the Falcons at the Mound Builder 15. Baker just keeping it himself over the right side. He's inside the 10 before a host of Mound Builders are able to stop him. And it'll be 2nd and short for Friends.
Pretty methodical drive here, eating up a lot of clock. Only 2.5 minutes left in this third quarter.
Which, you're in a 1-score game now. Friends looking to push it out, certainly in field goal range, get it back to a 2-score lead. This is where they're so dangerous, Mark.
They are.
Because they can do just what you're talking about here, just ball control.
Well, their offensive line fires off the ball as well as any offensive line in the KCAC, and probably the best in the KCAC.
Baker under center, and he'll give it off to Cordova. He slipped through an initial hit. He's got a first down. It'll be goal to go at the Mound Builder 3-yard line. Corbin Williams was there. His teammates patting him on the back. So you were right there. Got to just make that stop. So a 1st and goal for Friends in no particular hurry. Baker will give it off to Cordova, who hits that hole hard, gets to the goal line, and he's in for a touchdown. Nick Cordova. And the Falcons get that 2-score lead back. And Bosher will come out to try an extra point. And Friends applying the pressure again on the Mound Builder offense. Boscher's extra point is up, and it is good. 1:27 to go, third quarter. Friends 35, Southwestern 21. You know, you've told me all these games you play 60 minutes, but it sometimes comes down to a handful of plays. And I think of the couple plays Cavante Baker has created, the one that he scored the touchdown on, and then a couple of misses from Southwestern that early in the first quarter, to Holthus, and then that pass to Joe Smythe a few moments ago.
Yeah, just a couple plays here and there. Even on that last drive, I mean, Southwestern had an opportunity, a couple times to get out of that drive and get some things happening. Just, missed tackle here, a couple things like that, and a couple missed assignments. You wish you had them back.
Certainly in every game, right, there's that it comes down to that. But especially when you're playing a number 4 ranked undefeated team like Friends, to pull off those wins, you gotta hit those.
You do. You got to make some things happen, and every play is super, super important. I mean, Brad talks about playing every play like it's your last play because you don't know when you're going to get injured. But it's one of those deals where you got to do your assignment every play, because when you run a team like this, the number 4th ranked team in the country, when you get an opportunity, you got to take advantage of it.
So the Builders 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Jamie Odom wants to run with it. He's got a lead blocker. Odom over here on the right side, and he's able to spin his way out to near the 30-yard line. Looks like just shy of a first down.
Yeah, good run there. Very patient. Waiting for things to develop.
Got a lead block from Bryce Chambers there. Again, so good to see Bryce back out on the field. He's a sophomore out of Scurry, Texas.
He makes things happen. He's so long. He plays so long.
Empty backfield here for Southwestern. 5 in the secondary here for the Falcons. As Odom takes a snap, an unblocked guy over the edge, and he undershot Bryce Chambers at the 32-yard line.
Had him open for the first down, and probably then some. Just underthrew it.
It does not appear. It looks like the umbrellas have been put away, Mark. Just kind of damp and cool out there, but it looks like the drizzle has quit.
Yeah, we've lost some of the droplets on the window here in the booth, and umbrellas are mostly down, and people are enjoying a cool football game.
3rd down and a yard for Southwestern. And it's a give to Smythe, and Joe Smythe takes it out to the 36. That'll be an A to Z mini storage. First down for SC.
A pretty good job blocking there by Southwestern's offensive front. They got hands on that second level and allowed Smythe to just break through, and broke through a couple arm tackles to get that very necessary first down.
Builders want to get another playoff here in this third quarter. 1st and 10 Builders at their own 36. Odom looking to throw pressure right up the middle. He got through the initial wave. Now tries to scoop it over to Joe Smythe. Ball is loose, and Southwestern able to cover it. So Jamie trying to a little impromptu there, and it almost blew up.
Almost trying to give it to the guy. He's faster than I am. Almost came back and blew up on him.
So it's a big loss on the play, and when we come back, Southwestern will be looking at a long down and distance. 35-21 Friends after 3. Down 14, certainly not impossible by any stretch here, Mark, but that last play cost the Builders 10 yards, and they're looking at 2nd and 20.
2nd and 20. It's a pretty steep uphill going the wrong way. But, yeah, I mean, this is a dynamic football team, so we'll see how they can react.
So we get ready to start this third quarter with the Builders with the football at their own 26-yard line. Odom looking to throw, firing over the middle, and Chambers stumbling here to the side. May have gotten some feet tied up there with Brock Zerger. Incomplete, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, he just kind of stumbled out of his route when he broke his route. Foot got caught in the turf and slowed him up just a little bit.
So a 3rd and 20 here for Southwestern. What are we going to see from Friends defensively? It looks like
two deep safety. They'll bring some pressures, play everything underneath them, and get off the field.
Twin receivers, far side. Holthus lined up here to the short side. Wind at the back of the Mound Builders here in this fourth quarter. Odom looking to throw, four-man rush. Little shoulder shimmy, rolling here to the near side. Now being pressured, nowhere to go, and he's going to be dropped. Won't be a sack as he got back to the line of scrimmage, but just nowhere to go there, Mark.
Nowhere to go. Good coverage there by Friends in the secondary. Trying to get something downfield, but Friends had that well covered.
I want to thank RCB Bank, proud sponsors of Mound Builder Athletics. Caden Clark out to punt. A little bit of a breeze at his back. Low snap. He short hops it. He's got it and sends it downfield away from the returner. Bounces at the 35 and takes a really nice SC roll. It continues to roll inside the 20 and will finally come dead at about the 13-yard line. What a kick by Caden Clark after a low one hopper.
Great one-hand catch. Dug it out, kicked it, got a great roll. About the best thing that could have happened for Southwestern on that one.
Special thanks out to Millard Management, mentioned RCB Bank, the Barns at Timber Creek Weddings and Events, Bear Rafters Wedding and Events, A to Z Mini Storage, our first down sponsor, Timber Creek Floral and Gifts, our touchdown sponsor. Appreciate all our great boosters of Mound Builder Athletics. First and 10 for Friends with 14:01 to go here in quarter number 4 between these two heavyweights. Darian Sykes back into the game for the Falcons, and he'll get it on first down and nowhere to go. Maybe Citizen there and on the stop for Southwestern.
It's hard to see the numbers as it gets a little darker.
It was 9, okay. So no gain for Darian Sykes on first down. For the Builder defense, Mark, they can ill afford to allow a 6-7 minute drive
right,
here.
Yeah, they need to be consistent and try to get them, off quick, 3 and down, because they're gonna continue to take time off the clock. I mean, it's 9 seconds and they're not even at the line of scrimmage.
Cavante Baker takes a snap and. Now in no man's land, dancing around in the backfield, spun around and finally gathered. A little miscommunication by the Falcons. Baker has made those work for his team, but not this time as he's dropped for a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, and I think it was kind of like a designed, I'm gonna bootleg out, but I'm gonna delay it quite a bit. But he didn't have any time to even look downfield after he'd done that. It took too much time.
Third down, and we'll call it 12 here for the Falcons. Baker looking to throw. Pressure coming. Baker trying to sprint out of it. Broke one tackle, but now 3 Builders have him swarmed over. They want to make sure that knee's down. He was on top of some Builders, and that's always a little tricky. And Cavante has frustrated this Builder team all day. Fortunately, cooler heads prevailing. A little chirping back and forth. Heck, it's Friends Southwestern. You're going to have some of that.
Yeah, that happens.
Builder defense gets the 3 and out they desperately needed, Mark.
They needed that bad.
Even the mascot Jinx has gotten rid of the poncho. And
there you go. He's good now. His fur is going to get wet if it starts raining, but he doesn't care.
So out to kick for the Falcons is Connor Tillman out of Sedgwick, Kansas. Noah Roberts back at his 40-yard line. And Tillman just sends that in the air. Roberts gets away from it, takes a great roll for the Falcons. So the punters, each side, we've seen special moments from each quarterback, certainly from the Builder wide receivers, from the Friends running back. The line play has been, I think, really good on both sides. And now we see both punters showing off their skills.
Yeah, they're a bunch of show-offs on both these teams. I tell you, how dare they being, two top 15 teams in the nation.
That's right. Builders will see another ranked team here next Saturday on Senior Day. It's a 1 o'clock start next week as McPherson comes to town. McPherson had their shot at Friends last week, led for a while, but ended up losing 56-32. Builders fell behind quick here 21-0. They've been battling uphill ever since, trailing here 35-21. Smythe goes in motion. Odom looking to throw. No, he's going to run with it. And Odom able to pull a tackler with him. That was Sims on his back, and Jamie out to the 30-yard line, a gain of 4.
Yeah, good job by DeMario holding on to Odom, because had he got through, he would have got a first down.
And for SC, you don't have to race up there, but you've got to have some rhythm going right now.
Yeah, 10:56, you're down by a couple scores. You need to at least make this one count and do it without wasting a whole bunch of time.
Friends will drop 5 here as they dance around the line. Odom will give it off to Joe Smythe. Smythe reversing direction, going to the outside. Smythe to the 40, to the 45, and he'll be forced out of bounds near midfield. An A-to-Z mini storage first down for Joe Smythe, showing that the great agility that he's got.
Yeah, get it. There's nothing there. I'm going to bounce it all the way out and make something happen.
1st and 10 Southwestern at the 49-yard line. Koenig and Chambers come here to the near side, along with Holthus.
Now we'll see more of a single high safety look, bringing up another person in the box, trying to take away the run here.
Odom tosses to Smythe. Odom gets clobbered after he tossed it. Joe Smythe has it. Oh, and there's a big shot to the face mask of Joe Smythe as he takes it to the 40-yard line, and that'll be an A-to-Z mini storage first down for Southwestern.
Yeah, caught him in a blitz on that one, and nobody to cover him. When you bring that guy that's supposed to be the contain and bring him on a blitz, he's supposed to be responsible for getting that running back. Nobody to get him, so good play by Southwestern, a good play call there.
1st and 10 Builders at the Falcon 41-yard line. Odom with 5 coming. Fires it down to the far side, looking for Holthus, and he's got the catch. Touchdown, Southwestern. Touchdown, Matthew Holthus, of 41 yards, and another delightful throw by Jamie Odom.
Wow, what a throw. Wow, what a catch. He got one step, and Odom just put it right in there, and that's hard to do on a cloudy day. The ball's a little bit wet. Perfect throw, perfect catch. Touchdown, Southwestern.
And what I love, backup quarterback Eric Erb is the first one out there to congratulate Jamie Odom. 9:20 to go. Fancher to try the important extra point here. Kick is up, and that kick is good. 9:20 to go. Friends 35, Southwestern 28. Well, the Southwestern College Mound Builders, Mark, drive a little over 70 yards there. And they hit, again, Joe Smythe with a couple of good runs, and then Matthew Holthus. And we're going to miss not seeing him next season, but we're enjoying him right now.
We certainly are. And a great throw and great catch. And hats off to that offensive line. That was a perfect pocket, stepped up in the pocket, just let her loose. And 7 points later, here we are.
Short kick here by Schaefer, bouncing and picked up by Martin at about the 14-yard line. Martin coming here. One defender just got tackled on special teams. I don't see any laundry.
There was one.
Okay.
Came late.
The return now just across the 20-yard line.
I think they caught it.
We'll gunner there was tackled from behind. You know what I love, too, is we're about to get the call here from our white hat, I believe. And, yeah, block in the back, called against Friends. Mark, last night into the Athletic Hall of Fame, we inducted Carmen Doremus-Kinley, 1998 graduate of Southwestern, who was the first female to officiate an NAIA championship game, an AVCTL championship game. And here on the field today, we have 2 female officials.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome to see, and kudos for Southwestern for helping lead the charge in that.
Love it. So now the Falcons, leading by 7, will start at their own 13-yard line. Becker will keep it, now toss it out to Lopez. Lopez spins away from 2 tacklers, spins again, and he's to the 21-yard line. This has to be, for a defense, one of the most frustrating offenses. Every time you think you might have them down for a loss, there's always another guy or another blocker.
That's that triple option. That it's a tough offense, and the way they've kind of modified it to fit their personnel, it's a challenge, especially when you don't see it time after time after time, and you got to prepare for it in 1 week.
Which certainly, don't you think that makes Friends a real player if they're able to qualify for the playoffs? At least Southwestern, year after year, knows what they're seeing.
Right.
Some teams don't see this ever.
Yeah, you won't see it at all. I mean, especially you get some of those conferences that are just all West Coast offense.
They were handing off to Lopez, but we have a timeout called by the Falcons before the snap. 8:24 to go. 35-28 in favor of Friends. We'll take 30 seconds. 2nd down and 2. That was the first timeout from the Falcons here in the second half. Becker giving it off. Builders, good defense here, but I think that was Cordova muscling, just grinding those strong legs that you mentioned, Mark, and he gets a Friends first down.
Yeah, keep driving by that offensive line. Between their center and their 2 guards, I mean, their tackles are good, but the center and their 2 guards are really, really good at firing off the ball.
Down to under 8 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 Friends at their own 24-yard line. And as you would imagine, the Falcons in no hurry. Becker keeping it himself, and he's able to get to the 31-yard line. Little activity behind the play there.
Staying on those blocks, I guess.
They stay on them. They'll mark him at the 30. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4. Again, Mark, you think of that 40-second clock, and you get 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I mean, every first down. I mean, that's why this Friends ball control. If Jamie Odom can't get back on the field.
Right, how can you score?
How can you score? 2nd and 4. Becker giving it off to Cordova, and the Builders have him wrapped up here. They'll give him forward progress close to the 32.
But good defense there. That was a late shift by the defensive front for Southwestern, and then they were able to just kind of work their way in between the guard and the center on those and come up with a big play.
How about this? 3rd down and 2. Big challenge here for the Builder defense.
Big play here with only 6.5 minutes left in the game. When you can take almost a minute off each time.
Becker gives it. No, he keeps it. Becker kept it. He's got a first down, and he will be, boy, what a tackle there made by Milton Lewis to keep Becker from ripping off a huge gain. But it's a Falcon team. You can't afford to spot 21.
Well, you can't, and it's one of those deals. It's unfortunate, that it got to that point. But kudos to them for battling back. And it's just, you look at this Friends offense, and they aren't just one-dimensional, and they have the ability to throw the football. And even though it doesn't look pretty, when you can run the ball as effective as they do, and they have so many weapons. From their quarterback to their tailback to their slot backs, they're going to be a tough team to account for.
Bosher to kick it off. Joe Smythe will field at the 5-yard line. Smythe following blocks here to the near side. Now trying to cut back to the middle, and the Friends' pursuit is good, and Smythe with a nice return out to the 31-yard line. The Bond Builders have 1:50 to go. And you'd figure, Mark, they've got to get it down quickly, get a score, and see what you can do on an onside kick.
That's correct. That's what you got to do. And, certainly Friends will be playing some 2-deep or 3-deep safety, nothing getting behind them. So they're going to look for some intermediate, 17, 18-yard range passes to try to get them down the field as quick as they can.
So Jamie Odom See if he can orchestrate a quick scoring drive here for Southwestern. Looking to throw here on first down. Over the middle, caught. Joe Smythe with the first down catch. That's an A to Z mini storage. Just check that. That's Matthew Holthus with the catch for SC. A to Z mini storage first down for Southwestern. Clock stops momentarily. They spot the ball at the 43-yard line. Odom ready to go again. 4 rushers. Odom climbing, firing it long, looking for Joe Smythe, and he overshot him. Joe had a step on both defenders, Mark.
He did. He had a step on both defenders, and why the safety wasn't working over there sooner. He was a step late. That could have been a touchdown.
Wind not really a factor here right now. It just overthrew Joe Smythe there. 2nd down and 10 for Southwestern. And Odom looking to throw, firing it, and caught. Matthew Holdhusen with the A to Z mini storage first down to the Friends 46-yard line. Southwestern hustling to the line. Kikoi Patterson here on the near side. Odom looking to throw, firing it short, and it's caught and tackled inbounds. And Southwestern doesn't want to lose any time there as Jaden Sundgren made the catch but couldn't get out of bounds. The Builders lose maybe a yard on the play, and they will use a timeout here. 2nd down and 11 from the Friends 47-yard line. Odom looking downfield. Here comes some late pressure. He's going to run with it out to the side, to the 40, to the 35, and Friends was looking for a big shot on Jamie, and he sidestepped them, gets out of bounds. It's an A to Z mini storage first down as Odom runs it to the Friends 31. That's a gain of 16.
There was a big hit, but it was actually a Friends guy hitting another Friends guy on that one.
Friendly fire.
Friendly fire.
1:08 to play. Sundgren to the left of Jamie Odom. Odom looking to throw. Being pressured. Breaks a tackle. Rolls here to the near side. Trying to get those shoulders shifted right. Couldn't get rid of it. And he'll go down. The Builders lose a bunch of time here. Brad Griffin saying, let's clock it. There's just no options downfield. And Terry Harrison has to use a timeout because he had a guy a little late getting off the field.
Yeah, his defender wouldn't get off the field in time. If he hadn't called a timeout, they would have had 12 men on the line, 12 men in there.
So a Friends timeout here with 48 seconds to go. Southwestern will be looking at 2nd and 10.
I think it was a very good game plan that they put together, and it probably hasn't changed from the start of the season that, we're going to do what we think we do best, and it's up to you to stop us. And, for the most part, they've answered the call and had pretty good success for most of the day with their game plan. 2nd
and 10 out of the Friends timeout. Odom looking to throw. Firing over the middle, and Joe Smythe again overshot him. Jamie trying to fit that. There's defenders behind Smythe there, Mark, and of course defenders in front of him.
Yeah, it was there. The pass was there, just a slide overthrow. Great pass protection there by Southwestern, giving him time, and had he been able to dump that in there, would have been down there in 1st and goal territory.
So 3rd down and 10 here for Southwestern. 2 very deep safeties for the Falcons. They're back at the 15-yard line. Odom looking to throw, pressure coming, rolling to his right, and he's going to be tripped up and brought down. What a sack for the Falcons, and that was Jairo Castillo. 4th down and forever for Southwestern. They hustle back to the line. Their last shot here. Odom has got to send this one long, you would figure. Here comes pressure again, and Odom will be sacked again. And this time it is Talon Garland who brings down Odom. Back-to-back sacks for the Falcons to close it out. (42-28) with 14 seconds to go.
Immediately following this contest, the men's soccer game will be starting at 5 o'clock.
Men's soccer starting at 5. Rick letting the folks know that we don't want you out on the field here after this because the soccer team's going to have to get warmed up. Literally.
Literally.
So one kneel down coming up here from Cavante Baker. And Friends University is going to go to 8-0. They've taken on what I think is their two biggest challenges in the KCAC's Bissell division. And they've got a 24-point win over Mac and a 14-point road win here over the Mound Builders, Mark.
Yeah, big win for Friends there. I thought they were in control most of the game. Good game plan. Southwestern did some really good things and got back in this ball game. But, certainly the running game and that option and certainly the quarterback, was a difference today and making things happen for Friends. Just unfortunate for Southwestern that, they didn't have some breaks go their way and some injuries got them. But, wow, it was fun to watch this Friends machine work.
So the Mound Builders suffer their second loss of the season. And oddly enough, both of them have come right here at Jant Stadium. We saw Evangel come in here and get a early season win over Southwestern. The Builders have been rolling ever since. And I felt like, Mark, their offense rolled pretty well here for 3 quarters. But again, 3 quarters is not good enough against such a talented team like Friends University.